Episode 3, Part 1. Hello, and welcome to Episode 3 of the Don't Quit Your Day Job podcast with Mike, Keith, and Adam.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
2023.
Oh my God! And it's already mid-January, toward the end of January. What is this year's already moving?
Oh, it's going fast already.
Too fast.
Well, it's always like
too
that,
fast.
isn't it?
Yes.
So, guys,
No snowstorms yet, though.
what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I think a good thing is that we got award season is here, and the Golden Globes just passed, and we got Oscar nominations being announced this coming week. So we're talking about some movies that we saw at the end of last year, and obviously going into this year that we saw and are getting recognized, and just little views about them, and kind of let our adoring public out there say, what we liked and what we didn't like, and also we want to get into in today's episode is about the future of movies out there, movie houses. You don't see the big movie houses anymore. Why? Why is that? And the future of us watching movies, and the enjoyment of being an experience. And so I think those are great things to talk about.
The model is definitely changing.
Yeah, the model's changing. So
as far as the big movie houses, the multiplexes, I don't know if they're going bye-bye completely.
Yeah.
Well,
but, movie theaters are becoming a novelty. I'm sorry, Mike.
I do know that Regal recently announced that they're going to close down about 39 theaters around the country. So that's pretty big. 39 theaters, although it seems like a small number, it's actually pretty significant.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that later in the show.
We're going to get later in the show. So I think we're going to talk about some movies that we saw last year that were huge blockbusters, or not, but we enjoyed, and that are being now recognized, come award season now. So, Adam, you want to start off with some of the ones that you saw, and what'd you think?
Okay, well, as far as what's predicted to be the awards nominees, I haven't seen a lot of them. I did see the Fablemans, which I can tell you a little bit about now. Basically, it's Steven Spielberg's semi-autobiographical story of his life, his early life, not his later life. I guess we're talking way before Jaws. We're talking about his preteen years, his teen years. It's not a typical Spielberg movie.
In what sense?
Well, it's not. You're not getting a lot of action set pieces. You're kind of. It's not what you expect. As far as this is not Indiana Jones. This is not Close Encounters. This is not.
But he's done dramatic movies like The Color Purple, like
right.
Lincoln.
Right. 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 I would say it's closer to the tone of. The Color Purple, or not really Schindler's List. Definitely not as
always
dour as Schindler's List. There are some things that kind of call back to some of the Spielberg movies, some of that we've come to know.
But did they mention Bruce the Shark from Jaws?
No, they don't. They don't mention Bruce the Shark from Jaws. Okay. The thing is, there's a part where there's a tornado. And Mitzi, who is a Michelle Williams character, is so excited by the tornado, she drives the kids towards the tornado. So you could say that's kind of reminiscent of Twister, right?
Yeah,
I guess that's what. Right.
Right, but he didn't direct. Twister.
Right, he didn't direct that. He didn't direct that or whatever. But he executive produced it. He probably gave a lot of
any
input into the script.
Any tributes or things regarding like Indiana Jones?
Not really.
Going to like Saturday matinees and watching.
The thing about that tornado sequence is that it's kind of like it's set up like I said, an action set piece, because she's driving into this storm or whatever, and there's electrical cables going crazy over the place, broken electrical cables, and shopping carts going by. The shopping carts are kind of reminiscent when the shopping carts go by. This thing of shopping carts, you almost think about the train on what was on fire in World of Worlds. Remember that scene?
Vaguely.
Yeah, well, Okay, that's what I thought of
All right,
when I saw
did
that.
him and the family meet an
Telephone
alien too, and he got the
poles.
inspiration for E.T.? Was the family visited by an extraterrestrial?
No,
Idea for E.T.
Unless you consider the extraterrestrial his uncle Judd Hirsch.
Alex!
Yeah. Yeah, but aging,
Who is a amazing actor, Judd Hirsch.
Right,
The man
right.
can do everything.
and he's coming. He's in something else coming up soon.
Love Judd Hirsch.
I can't remember what it is.
Love Judd Hirsch.
I think it's a series.
The man could do anything. He can make something shitty look good. That's how that's how good of an actor Judd Hirsch is.
Right. Yeah, but some of it, some people would say it's too on the nose. You know, oh, they're just throwing that in because that's reminiscent of Twister. Oh, they're just throwing that in because it's reminiscent of
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost
So
Ark.
like
or
fan
whatever.
service, right?
Right.
Kind of fan service.
To
Kind
say,
of,
oh, well, now I
type
see
thing.
all the connections to Steven Spielberg.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So overall, what would you give it? Because we're going to talk about a bunch of other movies now.
Okay. Well, I just want to also point out that when Spielberg was they show in the movie how Spielberg developed his style, his directing style. You know, and he started off doing war movies. He one of his movies was called Fireflight, which is that wasn't shown in the movie, which was surprising because Fireflight was the inspiration for Close Encounters. All right. So you see kind of the Judd Hirsch thing or whatever. Judd Hirsch points his finger out like that, and what does he get from that?
E.T.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Little things that you got to know your Spielberg filmology.
Yeah. So Spielberg had kind of a tumultuous childhood. Like I said, he was the product of the divorce, and he, who gives a surprisingly good performance in the movie?
Yeah.
Is Seth Rogen. He plays Paul Dano's friend, who he works with or whatever. And I don't want to do a spoiler thing or whatever, but he actually affects the course of the family.
Right.
In
Okay.
a certain way.
Okay.
I think maybe you can kind of tell where I'm going with that.
Wink,
So,
wink, wink.
Right, wink, wink. Well, let's just say him and Michelle Williams take a walk.
Is it a long-
I'll go to an intimate
Adam,
walk.
Adam.
Okay.
Is it a long walk?
It's
Is it a long walk?
Is
Over a cliff.
Is it like they
Is
take?
it dusk?
Is it like they take the scenic route?
Does he
Yeah,
tell
right,
his whole life story?
Basically. All right. So
All right.
overall, on a level of Spielberg films and films, what would you give it?
I think that most people, unfortunately, are going to think that Spielberg is, even though he's been trying to make serious dramas, he's not as serious as a director as his peers.
Really?
No.
Oh, so
And who is Pierce? Scorsese, Lumet,
wait. So,
Coppola.
so Schindler's List is a piece of shit, right? That wasn't dramatic.
No.
That's
But still, it's like people forget that he's done stuff like Schindler's List, The Color Purple, War Horse. What the hell was the other one? Amistad.
Amistad.
He got a lot of flack.
because
for that.
everybody knows him more.
What was the one he did with? Did he do it? I'm pretty sure. What was the one with a young Christian Bale?
Oh, Empire of the Sun.
Yes.
Right.
There
Who
you
I'd
go.
love to see him work with again.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So that's
I think Christian Bale would be great to play the adult Spielberg. I think that would work.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny to see, actually.
Right.
All right. Because Spielberg gets to be and I guess I'm seeing this as I'm older. He has an overuse of commercial sentimentality and certain tropes and stuff like people say oh, that's not real filmmaking. That's not even Scorsese. That's not Lumet. That's not Coppola. That's not De Palma. That's not even David O. Russell today.
Right. But every director has a unique style. Spielberg is going to go down as one of the top 5 of greatest directors in movie history. Hands down.
But he's a commercial pop director. You know, I love his stuff. I love most of his stuff.
Including 1941.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was actually watching it on YouTube.
John Belushi.
I was actually watching it on YouTube, it's messy. It's a messy film,
Yeah.
admittedly, but the cast is amazing.
But he knew.
Really?
But maybe it was a wake up call too, where Spielberg said, at that point after doing Jaws and doing Close Encounters, they said to him, we want this because you are the top director out there, and let's do this big budget, World War II thing, comedy. But
There's some great moments in 1940. Dan Aykroyd's amazing. In that
Spielberg
film.
knows he can't touch comedy. It's not his forte.
I think maybe. I think didn't he? Well, yeah. Maybe you're right because that was written by who wrote that? Who wrote 1941? Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis
was
Robert,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Zemeckis was the co-writer.
Well, that's
right.
the connection with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bob Gale.
Robert
Who went on to do Back to the
wrote
Future.
it.
Bob did Back to the Future, right?
Who else?
Robert Zemeckis.
Right.
Bob Gale.
Right.
Music by John Williams, of course.
Of course, every Spielberg movie is John Williams.
Yeah, it had a good cast.
It's going to be very interesting to see once John Williams who he's going to
He's still working, John
replace him
Williams.
with.
Still working, John Williams.
Yeah. Until he's retired.
All right, so what would you give it an overall?
I can't say it was great. It doesn't have any moments that grab you. It's more like about the journey.
Like they could have just
the journey
done
of a filmmaker. And,
like they could have just done a documentary about Steven Spielberg
They
and called it a day, right?
They did,
know?
but they did. They never. It's better. The documentary about Steven Spielberg, which is called Spielberg, of course, brilliantly titled, very original.
I think so.
Yeah.
What were they going to call
But there's
it?
some cool scenes.
So let me guess, you're not going to give it 2 thumbs up?
There's some cool scenes.
Wait a minute.
Like,
I thought they were going to call it Scorsese.
Scorsese?
Yeah, Scorsese on Spielberg. Well, you see, go ahead. Do your Scorsese talking about Spielberg.
I think that's I think
You better hurry. We don't have a lot of time.
I think Steven coming up with him. He was it was very interesting with him. He was definitely a talent, but he was a little different than us. Me and Francis, and but that'll take too much time. But there's some cool moments in it, like David Lynch. You know the director David Lynch?
Yes, not personally.
Okay. Now, this I kind of liked, but I had some problems with. And this is how the movie, I'll just give a little, spoiler alert. He meets his favorite director, John Ford. David Lynch plays John Ford.
Right, and I knew that Spielberg. Yeah, John Ford
Right.
was Spielberg's
And
favorite.
David Lynch is fantastic. From what I've heard, he got John Ford down perfectly. I was amazed that Spielberg ran the same circles as David Lynch, because they're like 180, man, as far as what David Lynch does and Spielberg does.
Yeah, because John Ford, if you know,
but he gives him this whole.
But the funny thing is, even though John Ford was all over the place, Spielberg never touched a Western ever.
Right.
And John Ford directed some of the greatest Westerns ever, including The Searchers, which is with John Wayne and Natalie Wood. And
I have to check out some of his movies. I heard he inspired a lot of filmmakers.
John Ford was just an embodiment of epic directing.
But there's just some funny things. He takes forever to light a cigar. He says, "You got 5 minutes with John Ford." He's like the old brash, weathered Hollywood asshole, basically. Even though he's brilliant, And he tells him, "Okay, I'm going to tell you one thing. Okay, look at that picture there. Okay, where is the horizon? The horizon's in the middle, right? Okay, now." On that picture or whatever, it's like he says that he gives him this whole horizon speech. He's like, that's interesting in the middle, right? What about the top of the picture? Okay? That's interesting too. But the bottom, that's shit. If it's in the middle and it's in the top, it's interesting. I'm probably screwing this up. Now get the fuck out of my office. That's what he actually said to him in a Steven Spielberg movie.
That inspires Spielberg.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
All right,
But that inspires Spielberg. But the truth was, and I'm pretty sure, I'll just leave it with this. The truth was, I'm sure he did meet John Ford. But the classic Spielberg thing is that he actually was on a tour of Universal Studios.
That's true.
And he left the tour.
Yes. And he snuck on.
He spoke
that's
to
true.
everybody from producers to writers or whatever. And I think he even wormed his way into an office.
Yes.
At a young age.
That is a true story.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see that.
That's ballsy.
I wanted to see that. I don't know why he omitted that from the movie.
Well. Anyway.
But okay. So the Fablemans, you're not going to get the action pop. Even though it's a pop movie, you're not going to get the action set piece. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones, you know.
It's basically
thing.
about his life.
It's
so of
about
course it's not
about
going to
his
have
life.
any
It's
of
a
that.
slower pace,
Right.
much slower pace,
Right.
and it's about his family, how all these things that happen to his family affect his family, and it's a family drama. And like I said, there are some nods to his future films, but I don't think it's for everybody,
Okay.
unfortunately.
There you
It's
go.
not-
Moving on.
yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So what
I'm sorry, it's-
no, it's okay. Now the big other movie that's getting a lot of recognition and awards time and is the second Avatar movie, The Way of Water, which I saw recently. And as we all know, James Cameron is a major perfectionist, and it is definitely shown on screen. He's worked. It took the first one was what 2009, so it took long time for him to finally do the long-awaited sequel and then sequels, because what he's doing is like the Peter Jackson route. He's filming 3 or 4 of them at the same time. This was amazing. We're going to get into the whole thing about what's going on with movie theaters, the history. This is a type of movie that needs to be seen on the big screen. It was amazing. Has to be seen in 3D. Saw it in 3D. The look, the process, you name it, James Cameron put it all into this. I mean, I thought if you think the first one was amazing, this one, especially where he's getting into the whole area of water, is that what he did. Like actors actually, because it's all where they're being blue screen, but there are times where they are shot literally underwater. So there are new additions to the movie, like Kate Winslet. She plays a major character in the movie.
Who does she play? What's her part?
Well, I don't want to give away the premise of the story.
Well, you can just
But
say you don't have to go into spoilers.
She plays the tribe of the aquatic creatures that inhabit the planet also. Because remember, there's different.
She's like in charge.
She's the queen.
The queen.
She's the queen
Okay.
of that.
I
group,
didn't see
of
it,
that
so.
group. And it's just amazing. And then, like I said, you have all the returning characters. Without giving anything away, I mean all returning characters.
Gotcha.
That's all I'm gonna say. So if you saw the first one, you'll be like, "Well, how the hell what do you mean?"
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
You can do anything.
But how he did it, Cameron.
So it's more than Fern Gully.
Yes.
Purple.
No.
People.
No. And the thing is,
were they
too,
blue? Or are they blue?
no.
Or are they what are they?
No,
They're
well,
bluish.
these are bluish, right? Now what?
Bluish Fern Gully
Right. No, but-
people who
No, but these other ones
hang
are,
out with whales.
But these new creatures are the ones that are a little bit different shade.
Okay.
But there is a whole explanation of the way of water. It's even explained in the movie, the term the way of water. And you could tell that James Cameron is concerned about our planet and the future because there's creatures in
So
it.
it's a political message.
Yeah, but there is a thing.
But it's not heavy-handed, is it?
No, it's not heavy-handed.
I've actually heard it's not heavy-handed.
It's not heavy-handed. But there is a thing about Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
So they pay homage to Star Trek 4?
No, in a way, remember the thing about like the humpback whales?
Oh,
and
yeah,
the whales are a thing.
Oh, okay,
And it's
yeah.
in that.
Pictures on my wall.
Yeah.
Wall.
Well, the
Island.
camera's not going to zoom over there because it's focused on us.
Right.
But anyway,
I love humpback whales. I love whales.
But he does.
Speaking of Brendan Fraser.
But it's an amazing movie, and I'm looking forward to the third one, and there's going to be a lot of new additions to the third movie and fourth. One of them, because I'm going to exit on this and go into the transition of a movie that neither of us saw, but it's getting a lot of recognition. But one actress who was just interviewed, who's been in the business 40 years, who is the female Jackie Chan, Michelle Yeoh, who kicked ass as a Bond girl too in Tomorrow Never Dies. She's in the movie
Everywhere and
everything, all at once.
Well, she's going to be in the next Avatar movie.
Which is probably going to be nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, she can't give away
Oscars,
who her
right?
character is, but so she's getting a lot of recognition. So, but anyway, if you get a chance, go see Avatar, big screen, 3D. It will blow you away. And yes, it's long, but before you know it, the movie's over like that. It's 3.5 hours.
So it moves through the action.
It's action from the movie, from moment one, it breaks right into action. I mean, and there are times too with just the story is
From the jump.
It's a good story. It really is a good. I liked it better than the first one because you know what it is. The characters are established now.
Okay.
So now it's like this next generation.
It's about the family.
It's about the family, and,
right?
yeah,
Sam Worthington's character
is an he's
has a thing with Zoe Deschanel.
and they have their children.
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe
Saldana.
Zoe does that.
Right,
so,
right,
no, just,
right,
well, like I said,
right.
so just it's a good. It's really good. I know you weren't a fan of the first one, so you have no interest. And then you really run out into it. But if you are an Avatar fan, you'll love the sequel.
Okay.
But going into the thing about...
But wait a minute. Do you think that this is worth James Cameron investing so much time, and money, and effort in three more films?
Okay,
three more films?
Okay, well, it's already proven. This movie, he's the only director now to have 2 of the 5 highest grossing movies of all time. And people are going to see this. This movie's already hit the $2 billion mark. I mean, yeah, the price of a movie ticket has gone up.
Wait, so it hit $2 billion?
It hit $2 billion. People are flocking. It's doing amazing business, the way of water.
Yet theaters are closing down, so how do you explain that?
But anyway, like I said,
I
highly recommend it. But if you go into that movie that I talked about with Michelle Yeoh and the kid from the Goonies.
Ke Huy Quan.
Yes, who's probably the favorite to win Best Supporting Actor.
Who was not working for years.
Yeah,
but basically campaigned for the part.
And speaking of Spielberg, he just won the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actor. And on stage, he thanked Steven Spielberg for discovering him. So that tells you how the whole circle of remembering where you came from and being humble, which the kid is. And so I hope
he's not a kid anymore.
Well, and young, but I'm saying
married with kids.
But I'm saying, it's nice that these actors that we grew up with that had a little bit of a period where where are they? Now they're back and they're getting recognized. I think it's a great thing. I think it's good for Hollywood. It's good, and it's a good thing, because and it happens every number of years. It happened years ago with Jackie Earle Haley. You didn't hear from him for years, remember?
Bad News Bears.
Right, Bad News Bears and Breaking Away.
Also, I have the
Watchmen.
I have the action figure, not the doll. I have the action figure.
That's another thing I wanted to just...
Of Rorschach from Watchmen.
Right,
so I have a Jackie Earle Haley action figure.
Right, but how did he get the Rorschach? But how did he get the Rorschach role?
Rorschach?
Someone's knocking off.
Totally something else.
Mr.
Rorschach. Oh, Mr. Carter.
I meant Rorschach.
Someone's knocking off heroes, Mr. Carter.
What I was going to say is...
Rorschach.
In the Watchmen.
No, remember when remember when he didn't
He's right there.
No, but remember when he didn't have he was a moment
We're looking at the action
where
figure
he wasn't around, and then he got and then he did some performance in a movie where I forgot what movie it was, and then he got an Oscar nomination, and then he started getting roles like Watchmen. They cast him as the new Freddy Krueger in
the movie that he got the role from Watchmen from was Little Children.
That's
with Kate Winslet.
And that was the one, right.
And also his co-star in that was his co-star in Watchmen. Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. Who played Dr. Manhattan.
Night Owl.
Oh, Night Owl. And
that was Billy Crudup.
And the comedian was what's his name? Who I met.
Dr. Manhattan.
What's the actor from The Walking Dead?
John Barenthal.
No, he played a comedian. He played the comedian in Watchmen.
He played
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Great guy. Met him years ago. Awesome dude.
Negan.
Yes. So anyway, but this movie with that we're talking about with the Goonies and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom kid. It's getting a lot of work, a lot of great buzz. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Michelle Yeoh, who's one of the favorites for Best Actress.
So what's it about, the multiverse? Is that the plot?
It's something about some sort of multiverse.
We all have to watch that one. We have to watch and review it. We'll have to watch and review it.
Now, I think, Mike, the one that you want to talk about, which you and I saw, Adam's in the process of watching it, folks, so we apologize.
Yeah, I just didn't get to watch the whole thing yet.
And you can break into your review in the character's voice if you like.
Well, we were talking about the movie The Glass Onion, which is
On Netflix right now.
On Netflix, and
Had a theatrical run, a little theatrical run.
it had a short theatrical run.
Yeah.
They only do that only because if they want any nominations for the Oscars, they have to have it in the theater for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So in order for them to do that, they have to put it in the theater for a limited run, and then they'll release it on Netflix. Sometimes they cross over.
They did that. That started, I believe, with The Irishman.
The Irishman, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
back to The Glass Onion, which is a sequel, basically, to Knives Out. And one of the stars of the movies is Daniel Craig.
He is the big star. He's the major character.
Who is the our newest James Bond.
Well, was.
He's very similar to a character named Poirot.
He sounds no. I think he sounds more like Foghorn Leghorn.
He's a Southern
tell you
genteel.
here.
Okay, no. If
He's a Southern genteel.
I will tell you.
If Poirot Perrier, whatever his name is, and Foghorn Leghorn had a love child, this would be the result.
And you know what? I even mentioned it to you, Keith, that during the movie, he had a scarf on kind of sideways, and I was like, oh, it's got to be a tribute to Foghorn Leghorn, because everybody said that he sounds a little bit like.
You really think that they intentionally did that tribute?
I really do. I really do.
It was intentional.
Because he had a red bandana. Remember, he always wore the red bandana. Foghorn Leghorn.
But anyway, it was a pretty good movie.
It's a really good movie.
Why don't you explain?
All right, so basically, it's the same director too.
Rian Johnson.
Rian Johnson, who also directed for you Star Wars fanatics out there.
Last
The
Jedi.
Last Jedi.
No, Last Jedi. Wasn't Last Jedi the third?
No, that was
No.
that was
Disney,
Rise of Skywalker.
Other Rise of Skywalker.
right.
Well, Rian Johnson directed that, but he did, like I said, Knives Out, which was great. If you haven't, it's a great murder mystery. It's fantastic. The first movie was great. Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson.
Don Johnson was in it?
Yeah,
The first one.
First one. Chris
Was it
Evans.
introducing Don Johnson?
No.
like in what was the Machete? Was it?
Yeah, but this
is not Tarantino.
This is not Tarantino, but it was really good.
Actually, Robert
I think it was the
Rodriguez,
last role for Christopher Plummer.
Christopher Plummer, yes.
One of his last roles, if not his last. The Bond chick, who also, speaking of playing Marilyn Monroe.
Well, that's PC. The Bond chick.
Armas from Blonde.
Yeah, she plays. Right, she's another actress playing Marilyn Monroe. We talked about with Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
See how this podcast we bring up useless information that connects to other useless information.
It's kind of like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Exactly. Right. Who wasn't in either one? Who wasn't in any of these movies we're talking about currently? But he's gonna pop up in something we discuss. Anyway.
Okay.
But Knives
We
Out.
should discuss who's in Glass Onion.
All right. So
Okay.
Glass Onion, you got
Ed Norton.
You got Ed Norton, who is good in everything.
And he's the guy who brings them all together.
Brings them all together. Yes.
This group of eclectic people, influencers.
Right.
I guess we call them influencers.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's a group of friends that know him from the past. So it's him, Dave Bautista,
Kate Hudson. And you know what I like about her character? I'll just say one thing about her character. Her character is anti-cancel culture, anti-PC. She, like, I'm not going to, spoil, the joke in the beginning, whatever, about a certain people.
Right. Yeah.
But it's pretty damn funny.
Yeah,
and I like that. And she wears a face mask that Alyssa Milano would actually like a COVID face mask.
Well, actually, the movie takes place during the
that Alyssa Milano would appreciate.
The height of
which is basically an FU to COVID.
Of COVID, right.
Yeah,
So, but...
which I wasn't crazy about at first, but all right.
But whatever, it's a
smidgen
if it's a timepiece, you're going to have movies that are based during wars and this and that and the Great Depression. We can't erase what's, the history of what happened, So anyway, but it's really good. And then Daniel Craig, for some reason, gets thrown into this somehow without giving away the movie, and he has to...
Because he gets delivered the box.
He gets delivered
a puzzle box that everybody gets.
That everyone gets. But when you see the movie, but definitely if you have Netflix or you have someone that has Netflix, go invite yourself over to the house.
Oh, we can't forget one of the main characters. I don't remember her character.
Janelle Monáe.
Janelle Monáe, who's
excellent in the movie.
Who plays?
Excellent in the movie. She's great. But she's good in everything.
She's been very
She's
good.
very good. She's on a right.
And she went from a singer-songwriter to an actress. I mean,
Yeah.
it's-
But the thing is,
She's
now,
a natural.
now that Daniel Craig
She plays Abby. Abby? Andy. Andy.
now that Daniel Craig's character was established in Knives Out, to see him in another caper, which I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another one after this.
it's almost like Orient Express and
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
No, Edward
Agatha
Norton.
Christie
Yeah.
movies.
Edward Norton was not in the last movie,
No,
right?
no. This has nothing to do. There's no connection to the first
To
movie.
Knives Out. No connection to Knives Out.
The detective.
The detective.
Stay tuned for episode 3, part 2, coming soon.